Here on the Sunshine Coast, you'll find the sunshines from above and from within. Come find your sunshine moment. For real.
Alcohol.
Correct. The Salenga River is the main water source of what Russian lake?
Ladoga.
Stop the clock. That is wrong.
The only Russian lake I know is Baikal.
The Salenga River is the main water source of what Russian lake? Got to get this
That's
right.
the only one I know.
The only one I know is Baikal.
Yeah, same one. Baikal.
The Baikal is absolutely right. Well played. Push the chaser back. 9 now required to catch the team. Your time starts again. Now, the name Martin comes from the name of which Roman god?
Mars.
Correct. Which TV gardener wrote the novel Love and Dr. Devon?
Alan Titchmarsh.
Correct. Who stood down as Irish Prime Minister June 2017?
Enda Kenny.
Correct. Kane Dingle first appeared in what TV soap, March 2000?
Emmerdale.
Correct. What large food fish is known as maguro in Japanese?
Tuna.
Correct. The Dupondius was a coin from what ancient empire?
Rome.
Correct. Hart Island is a cemetery in what American city?
New York.
Correct. Freedom was a 2017 documentary about which late pop star?
George Michael.
Correct. The Busby Babes played what sport?
Football.
Correct. OK, 1 attempt to push back, 1 executed. Caught with 30 seconds remaining. That is 7 questions. So your target, in that case, needed to be around about 23.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what you were looking for. Tough old shout, especially when we're on this form.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
But nonetheless, thoroughly enjoyed playing alongside you. However, got to take away the £55,000 and tell you that Katie, Ruth and Barry, finally you have been caught and for you the chase is over. Chaser.
Well, I don't mean to insult you or patronise you. That's not my game. But you weren't quite good enough. That's all there was. It was 2 hard sets, and given your cash builder scores was 5, 2 and 3, you needed Dave back to get a team of 4. And do you know what? It would have been quite close, I think, with Dave back. You actually played out of your skin, particularly you, Katie, and I've rarely met a more likeable team. But on those 2 sets, you weren't quite good enough.
Well, not quite good enough, says the Chaser. But then again, the Chaser is in the top 25 players in the world. That's what you're up against. We'll see you next time on The Chase. Goodbye.
Potato.
Live from Brisbane, 7 News with Kendall Gilding.
Good afternoon. Our top stories this Wednesday. Breaking news, a firefighting helicopter crashes in the scenic rim. We're live with the details. Urgent warnings as Queensland heats up. Final preparations as the fire threat grows. Victims of youth crime finally meet with the Premier. The fresh hopes for action from the government. And star-studded support for The Voice. Cathy Freeman joins the Yes campaign. We go straight to breaking news this afternoon, and a firefighting helicopter has crashed into a dam west of Brisbane. Jacqueline Robson, the pilot, somehow escaped uninjured.
Kendall, an incredible survival story out of the scenic rim this afternoon. Details are still coming into the newsroom, but these pictures from the 7 News helicopter shows the firefighting aircraft has been ripped apart by the impact. It happened just over an hour ago at Tyrone. We understand the male pilot swam to safety, suffering just a few scratches. We did see him loaded onto a stretcher and into an ambulance, and we are told he is okay. There was a swift emergency response from police, the RACQ helicopter and fire crews on scene. What fire the pilot was responding to is unclear at this stage. There is a vegetation fire 10 kilometres away in Trogoni. Kendall will have more on this developing story tonight at 6.
Jacqueline Robson with a live update there. Thank you. And it comes as emergency crews are on high alert, preparing for extreme conditions to hit the state. Firefighters are in a race against time, putting out spot fires and reducing fuel loads. Their top priority, protecting at-risk areas like the Sunshine Coast community of Beerwah, where hundreds of hectares have already been burnt. For more of an update on the efforts to get ahead on the threat, here's QFES Commissioner Greg Leach speaking at a press conference earlier today.
We're watching the weather conditions closely for the next few days. So tomorrow is going to be a peak day in our weather. Then we get a cooler change come through the state. But conditions are very dry out there at the moment. We've got a number of fires that we've been working on the last few days. We were able to consolidate the control line last night around the Beerwah fire. There was some burning out done of unburnt fuel within the containment line last night, so that helps to secure that line. But of course, anything can happen tomorrow if the wind gets up. So we'll have lots of crews out on the fire line tomorrow, making sure that we keep that local Beerwah community safe.
Meanwhile, there are fresh warnings for Queenslanders with temperatures set to soar. Authorities hold concerns for seniors, children and pets. It follows the official declaration of El Nino, which experts fear will have devastating impacts on the environment. Sally Guide has more.
Good afternoon, Kendall. Well, local